it was the best decision that I've ever made for that dog. It fundamentally changed how she lived. Ruby is 11. She's been in my family her whole life. We got her when she was a puppy. She was my mom's dog. Where most shepherds, I think, get hip issues, Ruby, as she's gotten older, and this started probably when she was about 6 or 7, she started to really have a lot of problems with her shoulders. And it's because growing up on my mom had a piece of property out in the Central Valley in California, and it was fenced in. So Ruby basically had like 3 or 4 acres that she could just run around and play on as a younger dog. And my mom had this deck that would look out over a river, and it's very picturesque, kind of got a little rolling hill. Well, and more ground squirrels than you could shake a stick at. And for a young dog, a deck that looks out over a rolling hill filled with ground squirrels was just the perfect environment for her to just sit on that deck until those squirrels got a little complacent. And then she would just launch off that deck, right, to go and chase them around the yard. And they'd always end up in the hole. She'd never catch them, but that was like her favorite thing to do. But every time she'd come off that deck, she's dropping probably 6, 7 feet and landed on those front paws that whole time. And so I think that's a big part of what's happened in her shoulders. So her mobility in her front end is pretty rough. Now, if you look, she's had her big Barker for over 3 years, right? She lives on that thing. She's an older lady, so she sleeps a lot, right? But we get up for our morning walk, and she gets out of bed. I mean, it still takes her, she's 11. It takes her, some effort to get up off of that bed. But she gets up on her own steam, and she manages to get up on her feet, and she'll jump around at 11. She'll jump around and play with you in the living room in the morning. And that is probably the biggest difference that I saw, is this dog that went from barely being able to walk when it got up in the morning after that long night to that's her favorite time of day now. It's just fundamental, the shift in the ability for her to move her shoulders. I didn't expect that. I just thought I was spoiling my dog with a fancy bed that I wasn't going to have to replace every 6 months.